All right. Hey, quants. Today is just going to be another real quick chart day. We're not going to spend too much time going through things. We've got the FOMC meeting coming up today. As we are seeing on the economic calendar here, with that being the case, I expect there'll be some volatility. Looks like there's a lot of green on the charts today. Just taking a look at the watch list stuff that I have up here. So let's go ahead and make sure I get the right chart going on here. Don't have the right focus. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the charts. So I did mention that we had saw some pull down. There was potential for that a bounce around that diagonal area. It looks like it might be getting pushed up a little bit before that, but that could also just be a whole bunch of FOMC stuff going on, right? So not a whole lot new to look at today. I didn't update these, but as it stands, we are full on bearish for the market for BTC. I'm going to go ahead and just update these real quick. I did say that I was going to make this automatic, and I will at some point, but this is not doing me any, really doing anything special for me, and it doesn't take me that long to update it. For this specific chart, of course, I'd like it to update for every chart just automatically, but yeah, I've been working on building other things, and so only so many hours in the day to build things, and so I gotta keep my time focused on what I can for building. So I got some Mexican peep pattern stuff here that I just hid. So just because I'm not going over those, but that's basically just ascending triangle, ascending descending triangle type of patterns, right? So looking at BTC still, yeah, oscillators are low. We did see a little bit of a sell-off. So I think this would be a pretty good place. I mentioned, that's right, Monday, I mentioned the potential for this to hold as an ascending triangle breakout retest. And so that would be this would be an interesting place for it to bounce and to basically give us confirmation that the price is going to keep moving up from this ascending triangle pattern breakout. That would look pretty darn good if it does that, and if we can break above here, then I would be looking at some of these higher areas here where it didn't quite get to. So 85 area looks like probably where we're going to get a little bit of our initial areas of resistance. It did almost get there, but not quite. So I think those would be your easy targets. And then you might want to look for some other areas of easy opportunity. Let's see. I heard some people calling for 90. Just looking here and see if I could see. Yeah, I could see over here. We got a little bit of had some around the 92K area. We had some areas of support that then turned into areas of resistance before that last kind of major dip. So yeah, I could see that being around 90, maybe 92. But it's going to have to get above these kind of support areas here, because this is another area around 85, 86 here where you've got a range that it never quite got to that's going to have to fight through a little bit. So but the good thing about that, once it gets up there, is that it will be on top of the 200s, and the 200s will eventually, of course they're slow moving, will eventually start to turn around, and so that could look good just in terms of setting up maybe a slow turnaround. I will say none of that plays into the it's May, sell in May, go away type of idea, and so if that happens, maybe stuff will be all thrown out the window. And yeah, let's see, date-wise, just considering the GAN dates around the 20th. I'm not looking at the GAN calendar right now, but around the 20th was points of interest. We have the FOMC meeting line up, so those dates just tend to line up. So potential interesting points for dates of confluence. Ethereum doesn't look near as clean here. It didn't get that ascending triangle type of look to it. You could say it's potentially, there was a potential little box here, and it's kind of retesting that. I mean, you got to fudge it a little bit if you're going to do that. So I probably wouldn't be trying to bend it too much. The only thing I'd say here is the oscillators are pretty low, so there's definitely room for Ethereum to move up, and it never got up to the 200. So maybe we'll finally get up to the 200s to get that retest, and then we'll see if Ethereum's going to try to fight for more. Solana is just as one of the popular cryptos, or was popular. I don't really see a lot of talk about it now, but I still think fundamentally it has a solid use case. It's one of the I've just over the years as I've used different blockchains, Solana was one of my favorites to use. It's just super, it's fast, right? And so that's nice, but some of the initial tools that came out around it tended to work fairly well. They had better user experience than some of the other tools. So just looking at that one. All that said, there's really nothing here for Solana other than the same idea with the oscillators being kind of low. So there's room for them to move up, but it's been ranging here. We need to see something happen before we say anything special about Solana. If it does get above one of these highs, I think you're going to get that free run to the 200s, which really isn't much. There's nothing else really. Is there anything else really around the 200s? There was, not much. Looks like you have a little bit of areas of what was previous support or previous resistance and then previous support. So, I mean, I could see an easier play up to one of these higher numbers, maybe 120 or so, before it actually gets a real challenge. I guess the 200s don't look like they have much in confluence with any of the basic horizontal support lines there. So that might just tend to run a little bit farther. Not going to go into too much of the charts other than I did get a alert on silver. I think it was silver this morning. I'll take a look at this gold or silver. And so this will repaint throughout the day, the 821 crossing. So that alert might have been a result of this when it was opened or dropped down to the low, and then it triggered a sell on the 821 because that cross occurred, and then it's moved up, and so now we don't have that cross. So again, these have just been kind of trending. I saw some people drawing some symmetrical triangles here. So yeah, I could see that. This one, I mean, you have to go a little bit higher to really make it look uniform. Otherwise, it's not very clean. So kind of broke over on the top end here. Yeah, silver's, but I mean, if I was just looking at this, I'd just say, it's sideways. So we need to see something a little bit more convincing before I would make any confident calls myself. Way back here, we got that play off the 200s. If you were looking for that, I mentioned that I was not, because at where we are, I was looking at offloading positions rather than buying into positions. For gold, we had that ascending triangle kind of breakout way back when the run kind of started. Well, it wasn't the first part of the run. I think I was calling this after the run had already started, and my personal positions were farther back, more based on just fundamentals rather than TA. So, so other than that, I'd say gold does not look. Saw some people drawing the kind of symmetrical triangles here. I don't see that pattern myself. If anything, you might be able to draw a flat with a declining here. I mean, so that would be kind of the descending triangle, which would be the inverse of the ascending triangle, and so potentially setting up for a short. If you did play off that 200s, off the 200s, the touch of the 200s, then you might, and if you didn't then take some profit here, doesn't mean it's going to keep going higher. I mean, this is probably one of it looks like you have some areas of support here, right? So point is like I have my personal trade log. When I was first logging some trades, I put an emoji middle finger to myself as a reminder to not sell at support, because I've done that before. My point about that is it looks like this might not be the best area to sell if you haven't sold already, especially if you bought right here, but because it could definitely bounce off of this area. But gold's just been so confusing. Well, I say confusing. It's just mostly been going down and sideways here. So not something that, again, similar to silver, gives me a lot of confidence in how it's going to play. Just looking at the oscillators, it looks like your best bet is potentially... this does not set up for a bullish divergence, but on the MACD, if you're looking at the MACD, just these two, I was looking at the stochastics for these two. Those don't line up to anything special, but these two do look like you have a price. So you have a low, and then you have a lower low, and then you have a low and a higher low. And so this is your traditional bullish divergence setting up, but it is not confirmed yet because we would need to see the price. And this is one of the problems with divergences in general, is that you don't know until sometimes after the move is already played out, if you're waiting for confluence. And so to get some confirmation that this is actually going to be bullish divergence, we'll need to get a couple of green bars on the histogram here of the MACD. And so all that said, as I mentioned, this is probably not a good area to trade. I could see somebody front running a potential bullish divergence play here, but you're probably playing with fire there. So, it could easily run down to the 200s and get another touch there and move up, or it could just fall out completely. So again, a little bit more difficult to find anything special to trade there. In this case, this is why I just wouldn't trade something like that. But this is there's potential opportunities, and I could understand somebody arguing for that. So I think I looked at most of the things that I want to look at right now. I'll probably spin through all these other charts on my own time, but just wanted to get something in. I will. I've been trying to get better quality videos, which I will not say this is going to be one of those. But I'm just mentioning this for my own benefit, really. But so if you want to peace out. But I will be trying to do I'm a big proponent of the whole 1% better type of idea. Try to focus on one thing that I could do that's going to improve things that I'm working on or working with or building every day. And so one of the things that I'm going to try and do is apply that to some of the content creation I do. So I might start trying to throw out some of the hooks, and rather than just doing stuff so freeform as I do, I might try coming up with hooks for specific ideas, and that might end up having me dial back the videos a little bit if they're more planned videos too, which might just be better anyways, now that I feel like I have a pretty good grip on doing this and not feeling awkward when talking to a camera. So, just continuing to try and improve the content based on what I have seen from views and comments in my own channel so far. So that's going to be it for today. We got the FOMC, so I'll be watching that. We'll see how the excitement rolls out, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace, quants.